Here, Mahadeva gives you, Shiva gives you powerful technique to further the research and development, to take you to the deeper and deeper levels. He gives you a beautiful technique to explore your consciousness, to remember you are beyond the 5 layers of conditioning. Beyond these 5 layers of conditioning. Understand? If you just remember you are, without your mental picture about you. Usually when you remember your name, you remember you will have a mental picture about you. That's what usually you will think as a mental image about you. If you can remember you are without bringing your mental image, then you have done the self-remembrance. When you are sitting, talking, walking, listening, doing things, just have self-remembrance. Understand? Self-remembrance is the most difficult method in a way, and easiest method in a way. It is easiest because you don't need to do anything. It is difficult because you don't need to do anything. Not doing sometimes looks easy, but when you try to be not doing, then you will understand how difficult it is. How difficult it is. Not doing sometimes looks very easy, but when you try to be not doing, then you will understand how difficult it is. Not doing. Self-remembrance is easy because you don't need to do anything. It is very difficult because you are not supposed to do anything. Self-remembrance does not require anything, doesn't need any prerequisite, no practice, nothing. That is the beginning and that is the end, over. That is the path and that is the goal. There is no two things. You start with self-remembrance and you end in self-remembrance. Constantly you remember yourself only with some form of ubadhis, means the identities. Some form. You cannot have any thought if you remember yourself in a pure way, without any of this 5-layer conditioning. Just see, whenever you are having a thought, you are having it because you remember yourself connected to any of these 5 conditioning. Any of this 1-layer conditioning, you connect yourself with that. And if you remember only with any of this 1 conditioning, only then you will have further thoughts. You will have material for thoughts. Conditioning is the base material out of which thoughts are produced. Self-remembrance is the base energy. It is not base material. It is a base energy. Self-remembrance is a powerful method to be away from your mind. When you are in the self-remembrance, you won't see thoughts. There won't be any thoughts. Just the thoughts won't be there. I have seen many people struggling, suffering. Sometimes they will come and attend 1 or 2 programs, but their own conditioning, they will try to put me in their frame. When it does not fit, they will try to talk all nonsense, try their best to disturb. But after some time, suddenly you will see, their vengeance also does not hold strongly on them. So once they know that I am in the city, again, why not try? Why not go and sit? Why not go and see once whether they are hatred or love? They are not very clear. It does not have awareness. There is no self-remembrance in their love or in their hatred. That's why I tell people, when you praise me, I don't get flattered, I get frightened. Because the praising has no base. The tongue is such, next moment the word can change. Anything can be interpreted into anything. Anything can be spoken in any way. The mind is such, when you associate yourself with your conditioning. One more thing, when you connect and suffer with your conditioning, you cannot believe that somebody else is there without conditioning. You can't. If you are caught with anger, you will always see the other person also filled with anger. If he is not angry, you will become angry just for that. Why is this fellow so cool? Dead. You won't call that as a peaceful or cool. Dead fellow. Doesn't know how to express himself. If you are filled with lust, you will always see other person also filled with lust. Even if he is not, you will try to find some reason. Your anger or lust or your conditioning is so powerful, it will not let you see the reality as it is. It won't let you see the truth as it is. Remembrance, the self-remembrance, you are. Unclutching from these different layers of conditioning, suddenly you will see you are entering into the eternal presence. I always tell people, just do this one technique. Whenever you do anything, before putting the car key into the car, remember, you are doing it. Or you are. You don't even have to remember you are doing it. You are. I am present. When you are walking, remember, I am present. When you are sitting here, remember, you are sitting. When you are walking out, remember, you are walking. You don't have to remember any other God. If you remember you, that's enough, because you are God. Your self, which is beyond this 5-layer conditioning, is God. God plus conditioning is man. Man minus conditionings is God. That's all is the equation. When you can minus yourself, when you can minus all the conditioning from yourself, if you can remember just yourself, when you can remember just yourself, suddenly you will see you are in the eternal presence. You are in the eternal presence. Very powerful technique. Very simple. Powerful technique. Just try to remember. Just try to remember that you are. That you are here. You don't even have to think your body, your mind, your status, your position, nothing. Just be very clear, you are alive. Just be in that self-remembrance. Nothing else needs to be done. For enlightenment or to achieve the best things on the planet Earth, you don't need to do anything except remembering you are. Looks too simple. That is why very difficult. When you think, just remembering me, how can I? Because you are trying your best to forget yourself. All your entertainments is nothing but forgetting yourself. See, when you connect yourself with this 5-layer conditioning and remember you, you are too much suffocated. You are suffering with this 5-layer. So then you try to forget yourself some way. First thing, remembering yourself with this 5-layer is the first disease. And second, you try to get some medication for this disease, which creates more and more side effects. All your entertainment is nothing but trying to forget you. Do not try to forget you. Trying to forget you will only add more and more difficulty. Try to remember you without your conditioning, without your 5 layers of conditioning. Just sit with your closed eyes. Try to remember you are without remembering your body, your mind, or any other layers of conditioning. Whatever you know about you, or whatever is taught to you about you, try to relax from it. Just remember you are. Your mental imagination about you. Do not remember your conditionings. Just remember you are. Let your eyes be closed. Just try to remember you are. If you are having self-remembrance, you can't have thoughts. If you are having thoughts, it is not self-remembrance. Just be in self-remembrance. You are. Nithyanandam. You can open your eyes. Let you all achieve and radiate the eternal bliss, Nithyananda. Thank you.